Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we're talking vitamin E, the steroidal fatty hormones, how they relate to the skin and other fatty components of the body, including the liver and the heart, and especially the brain. Yesterday we talked about dementia, Alzheimer's dementia, and other dementias. There's nothing really special about Alzheimer's dementia as opposed to vascular dementia or Lewy body dementia or Parkinson's dementia. They're all basically the same idea. Specific cells, the specific cell that's involved may be different, or the specific part of the brain that's involved may be different. But really, you're dealing with brain rot. Alzheimer's disease and dementias are the quintessential example of a degenerative disease. And I don't mean to be gross, and I don't mean to be rude or tacky, but I want to be really clear about what's happening. The brain's rotting. That's really what's happening. Cells are dying. They're not being fed. And now think about it here. The brain is burning through nutrients faster than any other system in the body. It's the first place where nutrients go to when we eat food. The brain takes up most of the gram for gram, pound for pound, it takes up most of the nutrition in the body, or the vast majority of it, or lots of it. That means brain cells are highly dependent on nutrients, vitamins, minerals. They're highly dependent on oxygen, and they're super mega dependent on a clean environment to do their work. Nothing is supposed to get, the brain is highly filtered. Stuff doesn't get into the brain that's not supposed to get into the brain. Unfortunately, sugar is one of those things that the brain needs, and this is where the problem comes from. Sugar gets into the brain very effectively. And sugar is a toxin after a certain amount, and a small amount is necessary for the brain and other parts of the body, but after that, it becomes a toxin. That's where Alzheimer's disease comes from, folks. It's not aluminum and amyloid and tau and all these things your doctor wants you to think it is. It's our lives. It's our lifestyle. And I'm not beating anybody up for this thing. I'm just saying this because we have control. We have power. We have power and control over our bodies to this huge extent. It's not being leveraged, and nobody's telling us. To this day, there's absolutely nothing a doctor can do to prevent or even slow down the progression of any chronic degenerative disease or any dementia with the medical tools for the trade. With all our high tech, with all our money that we spend on the so-called greatest healthcare system in the world, we still, via the medical model, cannot prevent or slow down the onset or the progression of chronic degenerative diseases, of any of them. And that's 80% of our health costs. And that includes dementia. All chronic degenerative health issues, whatever structure is involved, the bones or the liver or the brain or the muscular system or the pancreas, whatever, they are all cell issues. This is the trick. This is the secret. Doctors can't help a cell. They can poison a cell. They can radiate a cell, they can remove a cell, but they cannot fix it or repair it or in any way make it better. That is so key to understand. A doctor cannot make a cell better. And if we're sick, our cells are sick. All disease is cell disease. It's not our organs, it's our cell. So you can fire your MD, as Dr. Glidden says, because he's not helping you. He's not going to be able to help you using medical strategies because he's not allowed in the cell. The cell doesn't allow the medical professional, unless the medical professional wants to be a bully and poison it and radiate it and remove it. There's nothing the medical model can do for a cell. All disease is cell disease. That includes diseases of the brain, which are brain cell diseases. Neuron diseases, nerve cell diseases, brain cells not being fed. They're not getting the mighty 90 essential nutrients. They're not being oxygenated. There's clogs in the blood. Oxygen's not getting delivered. There may be lung issues or circulatory issues. And finally, and maybe most importantly, brain cells swimming in their own waste. And I know that's gross, but that's what it is. Alzheimer's disease, the 6th leading cause of death in this country, and a pandemic around the world, and the poster child for the impotency of the medical model for treating chronic degenerative disease is nothing more than brain cells that aren't doing their business, period. And you can, read on the internet about amyloidosis and amyloid proteins and aluminum and tangles and fluoride and chlorine and all these things that cause Alzheimer's disease. It's a red herring, folks. It's a diversion. It's misdirection. And it's really nasty when you think about it. I mean, if the medical folks would just admit there's nothing we could do, forget it. But to say we're looking for genetic cures and stem cells and all these fancy schmancy high-tech strategies, medical strategies, which, by the way, just disempower us even more, stem cell technology, that just disempowers the individual even more. You can't do stem cell technology in your living room. You can do the Mighty 90 in your living room. You can breathe in your living room. You can restrict sugar intake in your living room, but you can't do stem cell or genetic technologies in your living room. It disempowers the individual again. All this high tech chicanery, medical trickery. It's this distinction between the organ and the cell that we really, really got to understand. The distinction between the macro and the micro. That's the secret. That's the secret to understanding vitamin E. That's the secret to understanding vitamins. That's the secret to understanding micronutrition. People always ask, what are vitamins exactly? What are minerals exactly? These are the tools of the trade for the cell. It's how the cell does its business. But if we don't see the cell as the component or as the building block of the organ, we're just going to allow them to take our organs out. This is also why nutrition is multifunctional, because you got 200 different cells, 200 plus different cells in your body. And so vitamin E, because it protects cells, it will protect liver cells, it will protect bone cells, it will protect pancreas cells, it will protect brain cells, it will protect stomach cells, it will protect intestinal cells, it will protect all the cells. It will protect the cells that make collagen, it will protect the cells that detoxify poisons, it will protect the cells that make fats. That's the beauty of nutrition, and that's the beauty of understanding this distinction between the organ, the structure, and the cell. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll take a break and come back right after this. Don't go away.
More and more people are discovering the incredible benefits of alkalizing the body, and there's no better product for it than AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops. Packed with a powerful combination of the most alkaline minerals and compounds, just a few drops in water will rid your body of harmful waste and give you more vibrance and vigor than you've had in years. Now buy 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason!
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
Why be held hostage by your wireless carrier for 2 years? What if you had no contract, no activation fees, no hidden costs, tracking, tracing, harvesting customer data, or draconian gimmicks, all on the nation's best 4G LTE network? Introducing Pix Wireless. Bring your phone and other qualifying devices to Pix and choose a plan starting at only $14 a month. Get connected now. Call or click 1-866-267-2056 or pixwireless.com. Spelled P-I-X, wireless.com. Pick Pix and get connected today.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
So we're talking about this distinction between the cell and the organ. And I'm very sensitive to when people's eyes glaze over when I'm looking at them. I can't do it on the radio here. So hopefully your eyes aren't glazing over out there. Because sometimes when we hear things that seem science-y or chemistry-like, it's intimidating. It shouldn't be. A cell's like a little circle, a little blob. That's pretty much it. You got a couple hundred of them. Different types, I should say. You got about 100 trillion of them. Think about that right there. We talk about this number $1 trillion a lot. Used to be $1 billion. Used to be had a lot of $1 billion was a lot of money. Now that's chump change. Used to be even before that $1 million was a lot of money. A millionaire was supposedly rich. These days you got to be a billionaire. I had a friend who had he was worth about $80 million, and he told me he couldn't even get invited to good parties until he had $250 million. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, so nowadays it's $1 trillion. We have number inflation. But what is $1 trillion really? Do you know, here's a good way to picture $1 trillion. You take a grain of sand and then go to an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And the difference between that grain of sand and the Olympic-sized swimming pool is roughly $1 trillion. And if you want to know how many cells you have in your body, multiply it by 100, because you got about 100 trillion. If you want to count each cell one by one to get to 100 trillion, it would take you 32 million years. That's a lot of cells, folks. That's why we don't notice when we're sick until a bunch of cells get sick. And then it's too late. Then we got to go to the doctor because we got so many of these cells. There's so much redundancy. We don't notice when a cell gets sick. We don't notice cell inflammation. We don't notice microinflammation. We just notice when our gallbladder hurts or our appendix or our bones or we're losing our memory if we have Alzheimer's disease. But it's starting out at the teeny infinitesimal level of a cell that's not getting fed, that's not getting oxygenated, or that's not getting nutriated. Now, if it happens once in a while, that's not a big deal. The body can handle that. But when it's over and over and over and over again, beginning at birth, that's when all of a sudden we're 28 and we hit the wall. That's when we're in our 40s and our 50s and we say, well, I was healthy, I was perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden I got this kidney problem, or I got this arthritis or this autoimmune disease. This is how we think. So if we're going to handle this and free ourselves from medical tyranny, which is completely possible, we got to understand this distinction between the organ and the tissue, which is where we see the problem, and the cell. And you don't hear about it from the mainstream medical model. That's not where they're focused. But that's where we should focus if we're going to be empowered, because the cell is our best health friend. The cell is our most important biological connection to health and being. And while the medical model is not permitted in the sacred space, God, the divine force, through our actions, through good food, nutrition, oxygen, exercise, rest, that is allowed in the cell. That's how you take care of the cell. That's it. Nutrition, quality food, oxygen, exercise, and rest. Forget quality food. Nutrition, oxygen, exercise, rest. And that's all. And that's all we need, really, to leverage our God-given ability to repair, renew, and heal. That's all we need. If you're dealing with anything as mild as acne, to as serious as atherosclerosis, to autoimmune diseases, to arthritis, whatever, food, or nutrition, I should say, oxygen, exercise, and rest. Norm. Nutrition, oxygenation, rest, and move. Norm. Conversely, disease is something tweaked in the cell, something broken in the cell. Toxic cell, a cell that's starving, a cell that is not getting oxygenated, that's suffocating. And then, over the course of time, as enough of it happens, if it's the thyroid, the doctor says, we got to take your thyroid out. Or if it's the gallbladder, we said, we got to take the gallbladder out. If it's the heart, we got to poison the heart with a beta blocker. This is so important. It's hidden in plain sight. You know, power structures like to hide things in plain sight. They get a kick out of it. You know, without getting into too political here, some of you guys understand what's happening from a political or a historical standpoint, how history is moving to empowering a centralized power. All of this is happening in front of our eyes. It's hidden in plain sight, and it's happening in the body too. It's hidden in plain sight. When was the last time a doctor did anything to help anybody, to reverse a degenerative disease, I should say, because they do help people when it comes to emergencies and surgeries. It's hidden in plain sight. And unless we understand this relationship between our power at the level of a cell and nobody's power, certainly not the medical power at the level of the organ, we're going to be doomed to the medical model. In the world of skincare, by the way, this is particularly egregious. The idea of a cell versus the tissue is like the links of a chain versus a chain. A chain can only be as strong as its links. And the body can only be as strong, the body chain can only be as strong as its links, which are the cells. And in the world of skincare, this is really terrible because the same way we don't look at the building blocks or the components of our bodies, the cells, when we're sick, we don't look at the links to the chain. We're focused on the chain, we're focused on the organs. In the same way as we don't see the big picture, the macro, we don't see the micro because we're lost in the big picture. In the macro, we can't see the trees for the forest. In the world of skincare, we only see the product. We don't see the ingredients. We look at the product and not the ingredients. The way when we're sick, we look at the gallbladder and not the cell. We don't see the links that make up the chain, but we know that a chain is only as strong as its links. A skincare product is only as good as its ingredients. And there's this dishonesty, really blatant dishonesty in the world of skincare that kind of hypnotizes us into looking at the product, not the ingredients. You know why? I'm telling you this as a guy who's got 32 years of formulating experience, formulating millions of dollars in products. Everything from doggy mouthwash to conditioner and shampoo to toothpaste to skincare. They're all skincare products, and really all cosmetic products are basically the same thing. Here's your typical facial product or body lotion, or shampoo for that matter, or conditioner. Water, wax, emulsifier, oil, silicone, preservative, fragrance, and then maybe a little tiny percentage of the latest buzzword ingredient, whether it's peptides or hyaluronic acid or perhaps vitamin C. And this mean-spiritedness that hypnotizes us, entrances us to look at the product and the marketing and the supermodel who's pushing it instead of the ingredient deck is so nasty. But it doesn't matter because we have power. We got to be ingredient deck readers. We got to understand ingredient decks. And it's not, it's not just it's not like we're stupid. I know a lot of really smart people who believe Cindy Crawford or the doctor who makes Cindy Crawford's products. All right, we'll finish up when we come back from our break and take your phone call. On the bright side, let's see here. Research uncovers new details linking stress and fat metabolism. Where have you heard that before? This is from the journal Molecular and Cell Biology of Lipids. If you're under constant stress and can't lose weight, there's a stress protein that's involved. And you don't need doctors to tell you this. It's just common sense, folks. One of the ways the body, it's common biological sense, I should say. One of the ways the body deals with stress is by keeping the pounds on, because to the body, the major stress is famine. It thinks a famine's approaching. When we have a credit card bill, the same hormones that get secreted when we get our credit card bill or when we get distressing news from wherever we get distressing news, political distressing news and distressing news from our family, cortisol goes up. Stress hormones go up, and when stress hormones go up, the body thinks a famine's coming because the body doesn't know about credit card bills because the body is living in a reality that's hundreds of thousands, millions of years old. There were no credit card bills in the African savannah a million years ago, but there was famine. So if you're under stress, if you're trying to do a New Year's resolution and you want to lose weight, get yourself a hot tub. You'll lose weight. You'll relax. You'll activate the parasympathetic nervous system. You'll accelerate the healing. You'll accelerate healing and regeneration and anti-age with a hot tub. No doctor. Would you rather have a doctor and a drug or a hot tub? Vote for me. Hot tub in every backyard. No Obamacare. Here's another good one. Arthritis and rheumatism. I love this. Microparticles as this is from the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism. Microparticles as regulators of inflammation. Particles in cells, when they explode, cause inflammation. Particles in cells, when we eat them and they leak into the blood, cause inflammation. This is what I've been telling you guys. Microparticles as regulators of inflammation. If anybody tells you they don't know what causes an autoimmune disease, have them go to the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism, November 2005. Pages 3337 to 3348. You'll get this amazing article that talks about how microparticles from dead cells and food initiate inflammation. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. Bernard in Texas, welcome to The Bright Side. What's up?
Hey, Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
I'm calling. I'm 29 years old. I live in Austin, Texas. I listen to you all the time. I live probably like a 50-50 lifestyle of good health choices and bad health choices.
Okay. That means they cancel each other out.
I hope so.
You're at neutral. Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling about two individuals. First one being my mom, and the second one being an individual that was brought into my life a couple days ago at my job. So my mom, she's been diagnosed with lupus for 18 years.
Okay.
Rheumatoid arthritis, or RA, and also within the last 3 years, she contracted valley fever.
Okay. How old's your mom?
She's 52.
Okay, don't need to hear any more. Let me tell you how this works, Bernard, okay? And you probably know if you've listened to the program. Lupus and RA are the same thing, okay? They're both autoimmune diseases. An autoimmune disease is when the immune system somehow becomes hyperactive and jumpy and attacks attacks the body instead of the enemy. It perceives the body as the enemy. This occurs when the cells of the various organs and structures, in the case of lupus, it's connective tissue. In the case of rheumatoid, it's the joints. And they're similar, obviously. When the joints and the connective tissue become deformed because the cells are starting to die and the cells are starting to break up and release their particles, the immune system goes into action. It doesn't know that the dead cells and the broken up cells and the particles are coming in from itself. It just sees broken particles. So it starts to attack. If it happens once, that's fine. The body can handle it. If it happens twice, 3 times, 5 times. But when it happens over and over and over again, eventually you get this immune attack, chronic inflammation, chronic sequestering or quarantining of areas of the body, and this is where the deterioration begins. So that's how it happens. So what do you do? What's the solution? Stop the crap from getting in the blood. I don't mean to be gross here, Bernard, but I'm just trying to be, forceful. Stop the stuff from getting into the blood. Now, your mom is, I'm betting she's not an IV drug user, so she's not shooting up stuff in the blood. So where else can it be coming from? It's got to be coming from food. So step number 1, have her do a food diary. If she wants to experience quick results, quick improvement in her symptoms, pain relief symptoms, have her fast. Do a Suero V cleanse. Are you doing longevity, or is your mom doing longevity, Bernard?
I do the tangy tangerine. That's what me and my wife take.
We'll get her on the tangy tangerine. Well, if she doesn't want to do it, I can't help it. I'm just telling you what to do or have her do. She doesn't want to do it. Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. So, but this is the strategy. Also, for everybody listening out there dealing with these kinds of problems, because it's not just Bernard's mom. Lots of people have lupus and RA and autoimmunity. But the way I'm explaining this to you so you understand what the remedies work. Not remedies, but the treatments work. Stuff's getting into the blood. It's distorting the organs, and there's activating the immune system. Stop the stuff from getting into the blood. That means fasting and controlling your diet. Number one, fasting on the Suero V. I love the Suero V cleanse. You do a bottle every, or a half a bottle every hour, 6 bottles a day in a 12-hour day. You don't eat any food. You get your electrolytes in the Suero V. If you have an autoimmune disease, you will notice results quickly. Within 24 hours, you'll feel better. Then simultaneously, or not simultaneously, when you're done fasting, do a food diary, and then notice what foods trigger symptomology, and then eliminate those foods. Then you're going to patch up the gut using the Biolumin Nightly Essence and the Fuchs Z and mucilaginous gummy types of food, which double as immune-boosting foods. All of your mucilaginous foods that contain gummy kinds of things like aloe and noni and cactus kinds of products and some herbs like mallow and colt's foot that have a gummy mucilaginous quality, gelatin and glucosamine, bone soup, chondroitin, hyaluronic acid. These turn on the immune system. They strengthen it. So using these kinds of foods in addition to supplements like high hyaluronic acid supplements and the glucogel caps as well. And then, of course, the Mighty 90. Now, I know, Bernard, the odds are good that your mom's not going to be doing this, but for everybody listening, this is instructive because it can help anybody dealing with an autoimmune disease. And really, these are strategies that you can use for everything, just to improve longevity if you are feeling better or to improve muscle building if you're a workout warrior. All right, Bernard, what else did you want to say? I want to get to a bunch of calls here, my friend.
Yeah, so the two questions I had that are left over is, first and foremost, how long do you fast for? I read online 3 days is
40 days and 40 nights. 40 days and 40 nights.
Right? That'd be ideal.
You fast as long as you can. As long as you want, as long as you can. 3 days is great. 2 is good. 1 is even good.
Okay, perfect. And then have you ever heard of Castleman's disease?
Just tell me a little bit about it. I haven't heard of the name, no.
It's basically an advanced form of cancer. It's where your body is ridden with multiple tumors, and it pushes fluid into certain cavities.
So why do they call it Castleman's disease? Just to confuse things. It's just it's a major cancer. It's a lymphatic cancer, correct? It's in the lymph, I believe. Is it a lymph issue?
Well, it can be, yes.
Okay, well, that's how the things. That's typically how, when you have cancers that show up all over the body, that's typically how it happens. It happens through the lymph. So everything we just talked about, because the lymphatics open up into the digestive system, and then, of course, the Mighty 90 nutrients. And if somebody had Castleman's, I'd be doing IV nutrition. I wouldn't be just relying on oral nutrition. Bernard, I got to go. Thank you so much for your calls and your call and your kind words. Hope we helped you out. Hang tight if you're on hold. We'll get to you, I promise, when we come back from our break. Don't go away. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Dr. Cathy Markle in New Haven Country. What's up, Dr. Markle? Thank you for calling.
Hi. Well, I have a success story, and I just wanted to share the truth about your skin products. They're magical. They are magical. I want to live in a vat filled with your products. My skin is smoother. My skin is thicker. My skin is more radiant. Any line that was ever there, it's completely disappeared, and my skin tone is just so even. I feel radiant, and I want people to know.
Thank you, Dr. Markle. Now tell the listeners who you are. You're a PhD
I'm a clinical psychologist.
Clinical psychologist at Yale University. And you're going to invite me out there to speak to all the Yale physicians about nutrition, right?
Right, who don't know anything about nutrition.
Except you do now.
I know awesome. More than they know.
You do. Isn't that interesting? Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you saying those kind things about the truth, too. So hopefully,
and I also want to say to the listeners about when I went online to try to order one of your products, I was thinking I would start with just one, and I do want everyone to know that the 4 just work together. It's like they're a team, because the Truth Bomb I'll use on nights that I don't use the retinol, and the omega-6 is wonderful for any extra moisturizing or dryness issues. It just remedies it in an hour. And the Truth Serum, I wake up and use that Truth Serum, and no matter what makeup you use, your skin radiates.
Thank you.
Whatever the makeup is, the Truth Serum makes beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Markle. I really appreciate that. Now, let me ask you, how often are you using the retinol?
I use it about 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week and no irritation or anything?
No irritation. And when I might see any sign of some dryness, very little, but I will use the omega-6 over the skin, and within an hour, it's magical.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Markle. We'll talk soon. Have a beautiful day.
Okay, thank you for your products, Ben.
Thank you, Dr. Markle. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's awesome. And do you guys have any idea how amazing it is that somebody could use retinol 5% 4 nights a week and not have any irritation? That's unheard of. And that's because of the way the product is formulated. So if you have tried retinoic acid or retinol and you had irritation, you're going to be blown away by this. If you're a physician out there listening, or a dermatologist out there, I know there's a bunch of you guys listening, you got to check this out and you got to tell your patients about it as well. Retinoids are the next to vitamin C, and there's a bunch of vitamin C, of course, in there too. It's the most significant, most powerful, most potent of the anti-aging, topical anti-aging skin health ingredients. And don't be bamboozled by schlocky lying companies like the one we talked about a couple weeks ago that says retinol and there's no retinol in the product. Retinol is very unstable and very, very potent, and no companies want to touch it. And that's why you're not going to see it anywhere. But that's also why we're dedicated to the truth. So that's also why you're going to find it at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, Sheila in Massachusetts. Welcome to the bright side. What's up?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Well, I have a 12-year-old granddaughter that's just started puberty, and her skin has all broken out. And I've heard your recent programs about acne, and I was just wondering, she's 12 years old. I think she weighs about 140 pounds, and she's about 5'6". But I wasn't sure what would be the best treatment that I could...
Well, I'll give you a couple quickies, okay? For hormonal acne, which it sounds like she's dealing with, is she built lean?
Pardon me?
Is she built lean?
No.
She's built round? Is she built buxom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old did you say she was?
12.
Okay.
Almost 13.
And she's already started her period and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. Unfortunately, if she's built buxom and she's starting to break out, the chances are good that she's got some blood sugar things going on. All right?
Mm-hmm.
How, is she overweight at all, or is she about right?
She's
and I'm not saying that you got to be honest with me, because I need to know.
No. She weighs about 150 pounds, and she's about 5'6".
Definitely got blood sugar problems. She's pre-diabetic. Yeah. Okay, so you got now's the time to catch this. Very, very important to catch this now. All right, this can involve cysts. It can involve growths in the uterus and in the ovaries. It's very significant now. Okay, do you ever hear something called polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS?
No.
Okay, well, she's at risk for it, and that means you want to start working with her blood sugar right away. That means
would that mean she get vaginal yeast infections?
That would all be involved. Is she getting yeast infections? Oh yes, that's all involved. Absolutely. Okay, these are very bad signs for a 12-year-old. So what you want to do right away, immediatamente, you got to get her on more protein, more good fat, coconut oil and butter, and less kid food. You know what I mean by kid food? Cereals and all of that. And this is not, I'm telling you, this is serious business at this point. So as best as you can wean her off, you can get her into sports, that will help. Anything you can do to start to change her hormones around a little bit, because she's going to be at running risk for being more slothful than more, active. And none of that's in her interest. So work on the blood sugar by more protein, more coconut oil, more butter, use spices, wean her off of potatoes and pasta and cereals, etc. And then get her on the sweeties after all her meals. Get her on the Healthy Start Pack as well, sipping on the BTT. Go get her some zinc picolinate, Picolinate. Have her do about 30 milligrams a day. If you can find 30 milligram capsules, get her on 10,000 IU of vitamin A day. And if you can get her to do some NAC, maybe 100 or 200 milligrams of NAC a day, that might make a difference also. If she has any digestive issues, tune into those. Gas, bloating, discomfort, all of these are the beginnings of what's called dysbiosis, which is a fancy way of saying messed up gut bacteria, and that usually precedes blood sugar problems. So the odds are really good that she's got this going on too. So anything you could do for digestive health, in addition to eliminating problem foods and caloric restriction, get her on the nightly essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. And then have her, if you can do it, if she'll do it, vegetable juices and fermented foods, fermented veggies. You're going to work on the gut, work on the blood sugar system, and then also, last but most certainly not least, the Healthy Start Pack, which will include the ultimate essential fatty acids, super important for all female health issues, for really all inflammatory issues. Okay. Sheila? But take this very seriously.
Could you tell me now, I have complete tocotrienol.
That's good. Give her, that's awesome.
And it has 210 natural
IU? How much total IU?
No, it's 210.
You can give her one of those. Give her one of those with food.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
There's lots more you could do, but if review the program, because this is very important, Sheila. Really, really important. Okay.
Right,
Thanks so much for your call. Have a beautiful day. All right, let's go to Alexia in FLA. What is up? Good morning. Alexia.
Yay, good morning, Pharmacist Ben. I'm calling about pregnancy caused in iron anemia. I was considering adding the Oxybody. What other strategies?
Say that again. Iron anemia. Is this for you, ma'am, Alexia?
Pregnancy, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're pregnant, but you have an iron anemia. Yes. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, so here's the deal with iron anemia. You want to treat that as a blood cell issue, not as much an iron issue. That means you've got to make healthy cells. Blood cells are the fastest turning over cells in the body. So if you have any nutritional deficiencies, one of the first places they're going to show up is in the blood cells, especially around fats. Make sure, and the fats will also help build a smarter baby. So make sure you're on the Ultimate EFAs. Make sure you're sipping on the Beyond. Okay, good. And I would take a bunch of them, 9 a day. And then make sure that you're sipping slowly on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. All right? If you have any digestive issues, that will compromise absorption of your nutrients. You got to focus on the digestive system as well. That means if you have any, do a food diary, elimination diet, etc. For the baby specifically, and also for you, of course, because you benefit too, protein, do not skimp on your whey protein if you can handle it, or hemp seed if you can't handle whey or don't want whey. Don't skimp on the protein. You're building something here, and protein is the major building substance. You're building a baby. And then also, in addition to protein, a couple other things that are important for the baby. Iodine, very, very important. And it'll come, when you take iodine, the baby will benefit from the iodine as well. You'll have a smarter baby. Iodine's extremely important for brain health. And then you might want to throw in a little bit of extra fish oil. You'll get some, of course, in the Ultimate EFAs, but you might want to throw a little bit of extra fish oil in there. And because you're taking all of these fats, whenever you're taking fats, whenever you're taking EFAs, whenever you're upping your essential fats, or even just taking them, make sure you're taking vitamin E, because it's fat protecting. There is some in the gel caps in the Ultimate EFA, but I would take extra, maybe 400 IU a day extra of a mixed tocopherol, and tocotrienol would be ideal. Got to move, Alexia, but congratulations, and I hope we helped you out. Thanks for your call. Okay, didn't mean to hang up on you. Apologize. All right, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Check out my skin health product page, truthtreatments.com. And if you're interested in joining the Brightside Ben team, call the phone team at 866-735-2470. Have yourselves an awesome, spectacular, beautiful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
Many Americans suffer from poor digestion, which can adversely affect their health.
For you guys who have digestive issues, glutathione is amazingly important for inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, stomach cancer. The glands of the stomach produce lots of glutathione. So glutathione's got multiple roles to play, and one of the best ways to upregulate, to make more glutathione, is to take the building blocks, glycine being one of the most important of the building blocks for making glutathione. Your ultimate enzymes contain something called trimethylglycine. We know it as betaine. We talk about betaine as an important ingredient for acidification, for keeping the pH of the stomach nice and low. But betaine can also help you make glutathione.
Help your body build glutathione. Order Ultimate Enzymes by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470, or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs ensures he gets the best use of his mineral supplements by using Youngevity's Ultimate Enzymes.
If you start a nutritional supplement program and you find that you get loose stools more than you get any benefits from the supplements, there's a good chance that you're not absorbing the minerals. Now, here's the thing about minerals and mineral absorption. You need to have a functioning fat system. You need to have functioning bile. You need to have a well-functioning liver and a well-functioning gallbladder in order to get the benefits from nutritional supplements with minerals. It's very common that as we get older, we don't absorb fats, we don't utilize fats, and then you won't be utilizing or absorbing minerals either. I would be getting on the Ultimate Enzymes from Youngevity. I'd be making sure I was taking them with all my meals.
To get optimal use of your nutritional supplements, order Ultimate Enzymes from Youngevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
If you're like me, you're concerned about the stock market and the economy. You're asking the questions, but it just doesn't seem that you're getting the right answers. Well, my friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute not only have the answers, but they've put together a free report, How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your 401ks, IRA savings, and retirement income. Don't hesitate. This report's for free for a limited time by calling 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take back your financial lives today.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
If survivalist housing has been in your plans, get ready. We're bringing our Timberline Range Camps to you February 6th through 14th, the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get an up-close look at some of our most popular Timberline models, or visit survivalistcamps.com to pre-order a camp. We'll bring it to the show and save you the cost of shipping. It's the perfect time to get that camp you've wanted. Go to survivalistcamps.com, then plan on joining us at the Great American Outdoor Show in February in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria, which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.